Okay guys, so we're back here with another set of practice problems having to do with parallel lines cut by transversals. So we should be looking for the same things: alternate interior angles, corresponding angles, and supplementary same side interior angles as we see here. We might see a few alternate exterior angles, but you guys know that alternate exterior angles are congruent now. We added that in. So let's take a look. The accompanying figure shows parallel lines cut by a transversal. What is one pair of alternate interior angles? So alternate interior angles, we're looking on the inside of the two parallel lines. So I have my two parallel lines here. One pair would be 4 and 5. 3 and 6 are also a pair of alternate interior angles, but the only choice we have is 4 and 5. So there's our pair. Transversal EF intersects A, B, and CD shown in the image below, or the diagram below. So which statement could be used to prove AB is parallel to CD? So we're looking to prove AB is parallel to CD. Now let's look at our options here. Angle 2 congruent to angle 4. Would that say that those are parallel? So let's look at angle 2 and angle 4. Would that help us out at all with these two lines? It wouldn't, because they are vertical angles. Vertical angles can be created by any two intersecting lines. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are parallel. So choice 1 is no good for us. 7 and 8. 7 and 8, yes, they are in a linear pair, but they are not congruent angles. They're two angles along a straight line. If you add both of them together, they would equal 180 degrees, but it doesn't say anything that would help us determine if these two lines are parallel. So we're out choice 2. Choice 3 is angle 3 and 6 are supplementary. So let's take a look. Angles 3 and 6 are supplementary. That is true. They are same side interior angles. And that would be enough to give us two parallel lines. But let's check out the last answer anyway, number 4, or choice 4, and see what this says. So 1 and 5. Angles 1 and 5 are corresponding angles, and they are congruent. But this says they're supplementary, so we're out choice 4. Our answer is choice 3. Number 3, we have another diagram, two parallel lines cut by a transversal, and we're given a measure for angle RPM. So this angle here is 50 degrees, and we're looking for angle PQU. Cut off a little bit. So PQU would be this angle here. So we have to think, how could we get this? There's a couple routes we can take, but I think the shortest way would be to apply two things here. So we know that this angle here, PQU, is congruent to this angle here, MP or MPS, because they are corresponding angles. Now, how does this 50 degrees relate to this angle here? They are supplementary. So 50 plus whatever angle MPS is will give us 180. So 50 plus X, we'll say, is 180. X should be 130 degrees. So if this angle is 130, like I said, this is a corresponding angle, so it has to be congruent. So that angle is 130 degrees. On to number 4, we had to draw our own diagram here. So we have two parallel lines, A and B, or AB and CD, cut by transversal EF, which intersects at points R and S. So the diagram looks something like this. Here's our two lines, A and B, C and D, cut by transversal E and F, intersecting at point R and S. So we're given that angle ERB is 72 degrees. That's the angle up here on the exterior. Find FSD. So this side, or this angle here. We haven't really talked about this one much. This is same side exterior angles. So what's true about these is that they are supplementary. So they add to 180 degrees. So if I have 72 and I have my missing angle here, I have to do 180 minus 72, and I get 108 degrees for that angle. Moving on. Number 5, we have another diagram. This is going to be the same theme throughout this. Our two parallel lines cut by a transversal. So it says, which statement must be true? So we have to use some logic here. We have to remember the properties we were given for certain types of angles. So let's check out the first one. Angle 1 plus angle 4 equals 180. We know that's not true because those are vertical angles, so not true. Angle 1 and angle 8. Angle 1 and angle 8, circle them both. Angle 1 and angle 8 are alternate exterior angles. They are also congruent, so not true. Choice 3, we are looking at angles 3 and 6. Angle 3 and 6 are alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Those are the two angles on the inside of the Z. And our last one here, angle 2 and angle 5. Angle 2, angle 5. Those angles there are supplementary. They're not a special pair, but we can tell that because 1 and 5 are corresponding and they are congruent. So that means that these two would have to be supplementary. So these two would then be supplementary. So that is our choice there. Some algebra here. So parallel lines cut by transversal. We're given GEB is 2x minus 30. EFD is x plus 15. And then it wants you to find BEF. So we are looking for this angle here. So what we have to do is we first have to set these equal to each other because they are corresponding angles. So 2x minus 30 equals x plus 15, and we go ahead and solve. Here, 2x equals x plus 45, and then if I subtract the x, I get that x is equal to 45. So now, what we need to do is we need to plug back in and see what we get for this angle here because these two are supplementary. There are two angles along a straight line. So 2x minus 30, let's plug back in. So I use 2x minus 30. I'm going to go ahead and plug in 45. I get 90 minus 30. So then I get 60. I'm not done yet though. So this angle here is 60 degrees. Be careful. Don't rush to the answer because you see 60 there. I'm looking for BEF. Once again, this angle here. So what I need to do is I need to subtract 60 from 180 because they're supplementary. They are along a straight line. So I do 180 minus 60, and that gives me my 120 degrees for this angle here. On to 7. 7, typical diagram, two parallel lines cut by a transversal. Again, more algebra given to us. We have to see how we can use it. So we are looking for angle AGH in the long run. So let's label that right away. So AGH is just this angle here. So these two angles are alternate interior angles. So they are congruent. So all I'm doing is setting these equal to each other and then plugging back in. So 4x plus 30 equals 7x minus 9. I'm going to go ahead and solve. So add my 9. I add my 9. Goes away. 4x plus 39 equals 7x minus 7x. So now I'm over here. I get negative 3x equals 39. And then I get x is equal to 13. So I have my x is equal to 13. Now, again, it's important that you don't forget to plug this back into what we're looking for. So we're looking for AGH. So this angle here. So I do my 4 times 13. And that's plus 30. So 4 times 13 is 52. Plus 30, I get 82 degrees as my answer. On to number 8. Given algebra, let's see what we got. So we're looking for angles EFB, and also ABF. So ABF is this angle here. So the connection I can make between these two is that they're vertical angles. They're opposite each other where two lines intersect. So those are congruent. So vertical angles are congruent. Now I got to set them equal to each other. Go ahead and solve. We get x is equal to 35. Now, I am looking for angle B here. So now I have to account for the fact that these two angles are supplementary. So to find that, I have to plug back in here and then subtract from 180. So I'm going to go ahead and do 4 times 35. If I do that, I get 140 degrees. Then I go ahead and subtract that from 180 because I'm looking for this here. So I do 180 minus 140, and I get 40 degrees for angle ABF. So ABF was 40, EFB was 140. So I have my two answers that I needed. On to 9. So for number 9, we are not given, or we are given two algebraic expressions, but they're not labeled in the picture. So let's go ahead and do that. So angle AGH, this angle here is 3x minus 10. DHG, 7x minus 42. I'm looking to solve for DHF. So DHF would be this angle. So let's see the steps we're going to take to get there. So the ones we're given originally, those are alternate interior angles, which are congruent. So the first thing I have to do is set them equal to each other. Then I'm going to use these two to know that they're supplementary, two angles along a straight line. So let's go ahead and set them equal. 3x minus 10 equals 7x minus 42. So if I go ahead, add my 42 to both sides. So I get 3x now plus 32. Subtract my 3x. Should get that x is equal to 8. So how am I going to use that? Like I said, we're going to make some room here so we could plug back in to this angle here and then use the fact that they're supplementary. So if I do that, I have to do 7 times 8 minus 42. So make a little section, 7 times 8 minus 42, 56 minus 42. We get that this angle is 14 degrees. So if that angle is 14 degrees, to get this angle here, DHF, we have to subtract that from 180. So 180 minus 14, I get 166 degrees as my answer. On to number 10 here. So for 10, we're given two angles. We're given x plus 20 and 3x. So how are they related to each other? So if we look at this pair of angles, we can tell right away that they are supplementary because they're two angles that lie along a straight line. So the first step I should take to solving anything is finding x through that method. Now, we're looking for angle EGA. So the shortest route to get there would be to plug back in to x plus 20 once I solve, and then these two are congruent because they're corresponding angles. So let's go ahead and do that. So x plus 20 plus 3x is equal to 180. Subtract my 20 here and combine my terms. I get 4x is equal to 160. Now I divide and I get x equals 40. So now I take this x equals 40 and I plug back in here. So if I plug that in, 40 plus 20, I get 60 degrees. Now, like I said, these are corresponding, so they're congruent. So your final answer for angle EGA is 60 degrees. Number 11, we're given more algebra for these, but we just have to label them in the picture. So we're given EGB is x plus 10. So EGB is right here, x plus 10. And CHF is 4x minus 20. So that would be our angle here. So before we even go further, what can we tell about the relationship between those two angles? We know they are alternate exterior angles. and they are congruent. So we're looking for angle CHG. So CHG would be here. So first thing I need to do is set these two equal to each other on the outside, and then these two are supplementary. So subtract that from 180 after I plug in x. So if I set them equal, I have x plus 10 is equal to 4x minus 20. Go ahead and do that. I get 3x equals 30, and I get x equals 10. So I take this 10 now, and I go ahead and I plug it here. So 4 times 10 minus 20. I get this angle here is 20 degrees. So 20 degrees for this angle. Now I'm looking for angle CHG. So I go ahead, subtract that 20 from 180, and I get angle CHG is 160 degrees. On to our last diagram here, a little bit different. We're only told that E is parallel to F. So these two lines here. So we kind of have two separate transversals here. This one are parallel. And then we have this transversal line. We also have this line going up and down here, but we're not told anything about it. We're not told if it's perpendicular, nothing. It just intersects at 2 points. So let's see what we have here. So which solution for the figure is incorrect? Explain. So we have these two examples here. Let's check it out. So we set, or they set 2x minus 40 equal to x plus 10. Now, that's valid because 2x minus 40 and x plus 10, we have two alternate interior angles, and we know they're congruent. So if we set them equal to each other, that's good enough for us to solve for x. So if we check their work here, what we did is we did our subtracting of x. So if we subtracted x from this side, that canceled, and then we're left with x minus 40 equals 10. I take this 40, add it to both sides, I get x equals 50. That looks good here. Now let's check this one out. We have 2x minus 40 plus x plus 10 equals 180. Well, we just discussed how these two are congruent, not supplementary. So right away, no good. Here's our correct piece of